Hello everyone, welcome once again to our trading channel. So in today's video guys, we're going to talk about how to trade price action. Understanding price action. They say that in trading, price is the king. Irrespective of what indicator tells you, if price refuses to move in a certain direction, you won't be able to make money. All right, so in today's video, we're going to understand and learn the patterns that you should be looking at for how trend affects price action and also the momentum side of it. If this sounds interesting to you, kindly like this video, share with your friend, click on the subscription button, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so that you know when we upload other valuable content. All right, so the basic thing that you need to understand for you to trade price action is understanding that every market movements are measured against time, in respect to price. Price cannot move without time, and understanding the time factor will help you to learn and also wait for the certain pattern to form. So for an action to be taken on the price, we want a confluence between pattern, trend, and momentum. So in this video, we are going to explain what pattern to look for, how to identify the trend, and what kind of momentum are we expecting before we take action on the price. All right, so this is the basics of understanding or trading price action profitably. Now, if you take a look on this, now when we talk about pattern, we are talking about a certain pattern that once is formed in the market, there will be a change, a reaction, and know that these patterns are formed by human beings. So once a human is involved, a repeatable certain pattern will keep occurring in the market. So the first pattern that we are looking at today is what they call the regular flat. A regular flat, once an impulse is made, the market will move down sharply and correct himself, not moving above the previous resistance, and will break lower, right, lower than the previous low. So they've labeled this certain move as a regular flat. All right, because if you don't understand that this is a correction just for the price to start moving high again, you'll be selling at this point. Okay, so that's why they say that price is the king and price action is the way. So once this kind of pattern is formed, we are waiting for a confirmation at this point for you to take action, because you understand that this pattern is a continuation pattern. All right, so the second one is the running flat. The running flat will make an impulse, will correct itself, and moves sluggishly like this, and breaks a high and comes down like this, okay, and after which it starts moving up. So we call this a running flat. So a running flat is also a continuation pattern. All right, remember that every market moves, trend moves in higher high and higher low. So these are the higher lows you will be expecting to see before you take action. So the third one is what they call the expanding flat. The expanding flat also makes an impulse, corrects himself, moves sluggishly, and breaks high, and also move impulsively to breaks this low, and at this point many traders will be thinking, okay, the market will start moving down and automatically start going up again. All right, so this is what we call the expanding flat, a continuous pattern. Now we have the last but not the least here, the contracting flat. A contracting flat will make an impulse, will correct itself, just like in a triangular form, but it will not complete a triangular form, and thereabout it will keep breaking high. All right, so this is what we call a contracting flat. There are more advanced patterns like the triangular pattern and all that, but we are focusing on this four because this pattern keep occurring in every market. 8 out of 10 patterns that you see in every market are one of these things. So if there is something that will give you an edge in your trading, is for you to understand and also learn these patterns by heart. You need to learn how to memorize them. You need to take a picture of this. You need to draw it with your own hands. Practice identifying them, which I will show you in a practical market shortly. How to identify these patterns, so you'll be able to know them by heart and see how they are forming, and the thought process, and how to take action when you see this kind of pattern. All right, so now the last but not the least is the trend and the momentum. Now, we've been saying over time, trend is your friend only when you can identify one, because every market is either trending upwards, downwards, or sideways. All right, so a trend is set to occur when a market makes a high, makes a low, and makes a higher high. So at this point in time, we have seen a trend, and here you expect to see one of the pattern form here, and once this is established, once this trend is established, expect to see another pattern forms here and stuff like that, irrespective of how many impulse or corrective structure that this gives you. But once you keep seeing the pattern, you keep knowing that yes, this market is trending, until finally the market decide to correct itself. And also know that this can also be a part of the bigger wave, because this might, at this point, we keep pushing high again, making your bigger trend to be this. And that's what we call fractal nature of the market. That market moves wave within wave within wave. So when you are identifying a trend in a small time frame, you always zoom out to see what the bigger time frame is saying, so you will not be caught in the run. All right, so the last but not the least here is the momentum. So the momentum side of it is whereby the market is making a high, a higher high, and an indicator is making a high and a lower high. All right, so this is what we call the divergence. So we draw a pattern line like this, so whereby the divergence between the indicator and the price. So once a divergence occurs, so that tells you that the momentum is low, and once you start seeing this low momentum, then you can now position yourself and be very careful that a reversal might be coming. All right, so let's take a look on the practical aspect of it. Let's see how we can identify the patterns in the real market, and also how we can trade as the patterns are forming. All right, so if you take a look on this Bitcoin chart, the daily chart, we can see from here we have an impulse, we have a correction. So what can we see from here? So this is an expanding flat. I just want to take note of this flat, because expanding flat is an expanding flat, irrespective of the time frame, irrespective of the instruments, irrespective of the market you are trading, is the same expanding flat. That's why if you can see it, you can't unsee it again. All right, so you can see here again, we have a small one here, right? An impulse, a correction. Now, if you go to a lower time frame here, this is a clear expanding flat again. So we see another one here. This one is what? A clear running flat. We see a clear running flat here. So that's the beauty of understanding price action, right? So what can we see here? We've seen a clear regular flat, impulse, correction, impulse, a clear regular flat. Now we see a squeezy one here. This one can be seen clearly on a lower time frame, but this is more like a contracting flat. Okay, a contracting flat. And also, just to illustrate the point, now once you start seeing a squeezing move like this, then you can actually see a divergence. It is making a higher high, and whereby the indicator MACD that we're using is making what? A higher low. So a divergence occur, and that is why we are confident that this is going to move down, even though it was a three-way move correction. The regular flats here, impulse, correction, impulse, right? And the market moves high again. Now we're having a higher high in the price, and the MACD is telling us, no, I'm going lower low. So that tells us also that the momentum is low, and we can see what happens afterwards, that the market starts moving down, right? So now the same thing applies on the downtrend. We are having the same the same running flags here in the same way. We're also having the same contracting flags here. So we're also having the same regular flags here. So this is a regular flat. We're also having the same running flags here. So in every market, in every time frame, we have the same. We're having what are we having? We're having an expanding flat here. So it's the same thing everywhere, and that's why trading wave pattern is the best thing that can happen to your trading career. All right, understanding the price action by trading wave pattern. So also having a regular flat, having a regular flat here. All right, so let's see how we can, so Now let's play out this market and see what the market is doing here. So now we've seen the market is moving. Let's see how these things forms in the real time. All right, so what are we watching out for? We're watching out for one thing, that once a market has given us an impulse, a correction, an impulse, and once a trend is established, we'll start looking out for patterns that we can recognize in the market. Okay, so a trend has been established here, no matter how little it is. We have an impulse, we have a correction, we have an impulse. So we have a trend that's established because this one actually breaks this first high. So we have a higher high already. So here now, and we're having this sell-off again. So what can we see here? Now can we say that this automatically is what? An expanding flat? The answer is yes. So we've seen this before, so we can confidently say that this is an expanding flat. So at this point in time, we're waiting for a confirmation. Maybe that confirmation might be a bullish candle, in the direction that we're taking. So now we are having a bullish candle. So at this point in time, we are going to take a buy. We're going to take a buy because we know, all right, we are trading based on the concept that there is a pattern that we've seen before that we recognize. So based on this pattern, we are taking a buy, putting a stop loss here, and just expecting it at the break of here, then we'll be taking this buy. So if you play it now, see what happens. The TP is smashed already. So now we have again an impulse, and we are seeing a tiny regular flat. So so this tiny regular flat in a smaller time frame buy setup, but on this time frame, if you are taking the buy, we need to be very careful because it will be short-lived, or because the setup is not as clear as this setup. See, these are other things you need to understand. When you're taking a trade on a certain time frame, always ensure that it's clear to you and the pattern is clearly recognized, not in a squishy kind of a squeeze from. All right, so but let's see what the market will give us. So before we take a trade, we always wait for the market to flip in our direction. So if I click on this play, right, so boom, you can see actually this we are entering late, but let's see what the market will give us. So even if we are taking a buy, let's take a buy at this point and put our stop here. So this will be like 1:1.5 or 1:2. Okay, now so at this time, there's something that we always consider. Now the market is not really moving. Is kind of sluggish in the movement, and it's breaking the high here. It's also breaking the high here. So at this point, you should be very careful with this trade, all because we didn't enter on time. So you can put your trade for a break even, or you close the trade exactly or totally, because you are waiting for the market to give you another confirmation. So at this point in time, I'll decide to close this trade. Okay, let's close this trade and see. Draw your trend here and expecting the market to either respect this trend to move higher or close it below this trend. Exactly, the market has closed below this trend. So at this point, it's clear to us that this market will drop, right? Because this movement is corrective. Because this movement is corrective, all right? So what do we see afterward? Now the market is dropping. So now we are waiting for another pattern that we can recognize in the downtrend. Good. So at this point, I think here we have an impulse, we have a correction, we have another impulse, we have a correction. So this pattern can be seen as an expanding flat. Okay, so whereby we expect this market to break this low before going up. So let's see how it goes. So if you can put a sell here, you put a sell at this point. So let's play this fast. Okay, the market is not moving, but let's see how it goes. Boom, our TP is smashed here. All right, so you can see exactly, we are just trading based on the patterns, because the market is trending. We are trading based on the pattern because the market is trending. So our TP is smashed. So we are now going to watch out for the next pattern that we can recognize. Okay, so at this point now, we can see clearly that the market also is giving us a higher high. So that means a trend has been formed here. So once a trend is formed, we are now looking for a pattern that will continue moving the trend upward. All right, so now what we can see, we've seen here a pattern, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, but it's small. All right, so as in it's not that too clear in this time frame. So all you need to do is either you wait for a bigger correction or you take an action based on this pattern. But let's see what we can take again from here. Very good. So now we are also seeing a smaller impulse and a three-wave move here, guys. Three-wave move. So this is an irregular flat. So at this point in time, we've seen the first regular flat here, and we are seeing the second regular flat. So it is clear to us that this market is about to move on, and we've seen a trend established. So this is a trend established and a regular flat form. So here we are taking a buy position for the market to keep moving. Take a buy, put your stop here, and probably this will break all this, it break this high and continue moving. All right, because here we are the low, and if you take a look on here, you know, you might decide to see the now if you check the momentum has been going, even though the market is making lower low, the momentum is going higher highs here. Automatically the market is moving in a direction. So you can see this is just the way we trade, using patterns, you know, and also using trend and combining with momentums and all that. Also we have a smaller, you know, expanding flat here, smaller expanding flat here that the market has given us. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time. You know, I really appreciate. Now, if you like this video and you like the values that we are providing here, kindly like this video and subscribe to this channel, guys. You know, help us click that notification bell for you to see the next updates I will be releasing. All right, please, I would like to recommend a video for you, our trend line strategy. I will put the link below this video, and I would like you to watch that because that also help you to see the market in a clear terms. Thank you.